Fernando Fernandez, Chief Executive of Unilever. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Unilever is one of the world's largest consumer goods businesses with a presence in 190 countries and an estimated 3.4 billion people using their products every day. At the same time, growth in emerging markets has been hard to come by in recent years. What gives you confidence medium term that emerging markets can still grow?
Yeah, I feel food inflation in particular has hit emerging markets significantly in the last 2 to 3 years, but when you got the structural trends, growing population, urbanization going up, young population, digitization, these are all structurally positive trends for emerging markets. All this being said, our strategy now is to have a balanced portfolio between emerging markets and developed markets. We need both to grow, but we believe that emerging markets offer, in principle, superior volume growth opportunity. We have a privileged position there in places like India or Brazil or Indonesia, and we believe it's a significant competitive advantage.
You took helm at the start of 2025 and have been very public in your comments that cultural change needs to happen at Unilever. What do you mean by this in practice?
Well, I believe that, Unilever has been inconsistent in performance. It has been inconsistent in performance across time. It has been inconsistent between what I call pockets of excellence and pockets of mediocrity. So it's very important that we achieve a common level of excellence across the whole company. And to do that, ownership and accountability has to increase in the company. I don't want victims in the company. I want protagonists. I don't want talent that is in denial. Sometimes, all the failures in which I have been part, there is a component of denial. You take a decision, it doesn't go your way, and you don't correct route. I want to ensure that the incentive systems in the company are aligned with our long-term objectives. And I feel that's something that we are doing. Clarity is very, very important to ensure that. As every time I come into a meeting, before saying hello, I say volume growth, positive mix, consistent growth margin expansion for profit growth in hard currency. Hello. And I feel if we have that kind of alignment in the whole company, the company will be in a better place.
If you're successful with your strategy, what does Unilever look like in 5 years' time?
Overall, I feel what I want to ensure is that the business is future-proof for the future. That means to move our portfolio into areas in which you are exposed to higher market volume growth. And that implies fundamentally to make a significant transformation of our portfolio into more premium, more e-commerce exposure. So that's what I'm looking at. And I want Unilever to be a boring company, predictable, consistent, quarter in, quarter out, with a volume growth of up 2%. That's the most important metric, because with the margins we have, if your volume comes, all the rest follows.
Is there something about your business that you think investors are missing right now?
Well, probably, what has gone a bit unnoticed is the profound transformation of our American business. After the separation of ice cream, our North American business will be 21% of the revenue. We have had now 5 consecutive quarters of volume growth of up 4%. Can I promise 4% forever? I don't know. But I believe that I'm pretty confident that we have a 3+% volume growth footprint that when you compare with all the big players in the US, is definitely one of the best growth footprints. We have a fabulous personal care business anchored in a great brand like that, a very good hair care business. We have close to 3 billion business in well-being that I personally believe is the pet care of the next decade, a very good prestige business. So I feel we have pivoted our portfolio into fast-growing areas and with very, very solid and very strong brands, that are doing very well. So I believe that's probably what has gone unnoticed. If you combine, let's say, a 3% volume growth in US with an India that if it grows 6-7% GDP, we should be able to grow 4-5% volume. The combination of these two countries that make 35% of the revenue today and should be 40% in the future can provide already 1.5-1.6% volume growth to Unilever. And then you have the other 60% of the business to complete your performance. So I feel that has gone a bit unnoticed.
Fernando Fernandez, CEO of Unilever, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.